halls of the Capitol, they're scheming in the night, selling out our freedoms for a pocket full of spite. From the border to the heartland, the wolves are at the door, twisting truth and tearing down what our fathers fought before. But I'm a patriot source, standing tall and true, with a Bible in my hand and old glory flying blue. Ain't apologizing for loving this land. We'll fight the forces of evil with fire in our stand. God bless the USA, we'll never back down. Patriots for freedom, wearing that crown.
Well, it looks like the people over in the comments section are excited about this show. Did you see that?
Happy hump
Nicole
day.
Hubbard. This will be a fun one. Hey, before we start, I just want to say, so Patriot Dad and his family were driving from Ohio down to the Southern Command on Monday. So I was listening to the show in the car. I think we were like crossing into the Alabama area at that point. And Monday night show was an absolute barn burner. You guys, I mean, I was in the car just like hooting and hollering, and my wife was like, what the heck? Because I can't play it through the radio because I can never trust that Nam isn't going to drop like a very ill-conceived F-bomb in the middle of his monologue. So I can't play it for my kids to hear it. But I was listening on my earbuds, and you guys crushed it on Monday. That was a banger of a show. I almost was like, do I even need to come back? I don't know if I do.
Yes.
You guys
Yes, you
killed
do.
it.
You drive the bus. Okay.
Killed it. Killed it.
To be fair, that's a pretty good rule. I likely will drop a ill-conceived F-bomb when I get going. That's listen,
Well,
folks.
probably me too.
So Patriot Mom was like,
over there. I don't know
absolutely
what
not. You are not allowed to play this through the car speakers, through the Tahoe speakers, because Nam has a potty mouth. But that's fine, because that's why we love him. That's why we love it. Folks, this show tonight is probably going to be a little bit different because it seems like some of y'all in the comments section have been following along with the shit show that we created all over social media the last few days. So we're going to have to get into that because there's a whole bunch of these fake and gay ass black pill wannabe America First crowd content creators and TikTok live hosts who got their panties all up in a twisted knot, and they don't understand why Thomas Massie got his ass kicked yesterday. They can't figure it out. And instead, they want to be mad at me for pointing out what should be the most obvious thing in the world, which is there is, in fact, a litmus test in order to be part of MAGA. Believe it or not, there's a litmus test. It's pretty simple. Like, it's like the lowest bar that you could possibly set in the political world. It is so simple. I mean, we created this litmus test so that only the underbelly of society doesn't pass it. And these people are really upset because there's a litmus test. And apparently they don't think they're going to pass the test. So they're pissed off. So we're going to talk about that tonight. We've got Donald Trump is just a total wrecking ball across the political landscape right now. I mean, a wrecking ball. He went 37-0 yesterday. 37. That sounds like an Ohio State football record. That's how good it is. SK, I see you rolling your eyes there.
Only because it's OSU, and I only have one OSU, and it's not Ohio.
Well, by the way, I was talking with somebody here down in the Southern Command today, and telling them we went to the library to get library cards for the wife and the kids because they love to go to the library. And the lady, we were telling her where we were from, and she's like, well, you know, welcome to the Southern Command and all this stuff. And she was like, and I hope you love it down here. And I'm like, we're going to love it. We already do. But I'm just warning you, I'm bringing my Buckeyes with me. And she just kind of looked at me like, okay, bringing them with me. What else are we going to talk about tonight? I know, SK, you put some stuff in the Dropbox that I've been totally distracted and really don't even know what else is in there.
Well, I didn't really know what direction we were going. I just tried to put as much as I could in there because I knew you guys were both busy. I mean, all three of us were super busy. I'm last second wedding planning and things like that. But I know you guys were also busy. So I just tried to put as much as I could in there about things that were going on. But apparently, right before we went live, there's new topics we can talk about. And I should probably add more receipts to the Dropbox so you can easily access them to put them on the screen. Because, I always bring receipts. I don't say things without having receipts. So probably not smart to call people out and say, this isn't true because I looked it up and here's a mission statement. Yeah, there's more to that than a mission statement. Anybody can put a mission statement on the internet.
Oh my God.
Sorry.
So can I put the invitation out there? I'm going
Not
to
yet.
do it, right? Because no, not yet.
Do
I
it.
think we should lead with the invitation.
Okay.
I think we should lead with the invitation, right? Because Patriot Dad and I went into a live today because there was some shit talking about Patriot Dad. He wasn't invited, even though she says, well, I asked other people to invite. No, you, if you're going to talk shit, you send the invite, whatever. Anyway, neither here nor there. And it turns out that the way that to debate an issue, apparently in TikTok lives, is if you don't like hearing something, you just mute them and then ultimately boot them, right? So Patriot Dad got muted more times and he's like, I can't handle it. And then I came up there and I was trying to explain, and then the live host was like, well, I actually want to take this in a different direction. Instead of saying, hey, you know what, you're right. You probably should not bring Nazis into your campaign at the last minute of a campaign, which is the position that we've had. And then when they're like, yeah, well, but what about when Trump did? I'm like, frankly, I don't actually want to talk to you about this anymore. So, between muting, and finally I'm like, I'm not going to waste my time up here if you're just going to try to justify this. So here's the deal. For Sunni and what's the other?
Political Mom is her name.
Political Mom.
Political Mom.
Political Mom. Yeah, Political Mom. Since you guys are still running your mouths, you have a lot to say in Discord servers, which, yes, we can see that. By the way, we can see the Discord servers. We can see your videos and your posts and stuff like that. You have things that you would like to say. You are invited to come and join this show next Monday or next Wednesday. We're live every Monday, every Wednesday at 9:30 Eastern. We do 2 hours. You can spend as long as you would like to be here, and we can have a discussion about why it is political malpractice in a campaign to actually invite an actual Nazi into that campaign, and then wonder why you have people like us who have a problem with it, being that we just spent the last 10 years fending off frivolous attacks that MAGA is filled with Nazis and literally Hitler, and then you actually want to bring an actual Nazi into your campaign. So I'm like, I'm not going to try to do that in your live muting, booting, blocking, filibustering. We can do it here because we already did all the research, but we're going to spend a little bit of time tonight. You can go back and watch Monday's show. We spent an hour and a half on the topic, and we're going to cover it again tonight so you can be fully educated, and then you can bring your position to the show. No blocking, no muting, no booting, just talking.
Yep.
There, that's the invitation. Right. You're invited.
I want to know why it is that these things even have to be said. Like, why do we have to even say this? I was listening to you say some of those words, like in the order they were in, and I'm like, wow, why does this even have to be said out loud?
Well, apparently it does. Why it has to be said out loud.
A lot of people. Yeah.
Hold on. We got a GR Patriot
member for 3 months. There we go. Your show is a breath of sanity and a blessing. Thank you.
Love
I mean, it's not a difficult statement to make. You don't invite people who wear iron crosses with swastikas on them and show up with an American Reich gear on their body to your campaign. And if they show up wearing that, you boot them. Even if it's just for the optics, even if you agree with them, you still boot them from your 3-day campaign event. Oh, and by the way, all you creators that just stood there and said absolutely fucking nothing, we're talking to you too, by the way.
Yeah. Yep. So here, SK, you asked a really important question. Like, why does this even have to be said? Here's what's going on. Okay. And then we're going to jump into this so the folks in the chat who haven't been following along have an understanding of what it is that we're talking about. I think at its core, this is the reason why they are losing their ever-loving minds on social media right now. The Massie campaign for some reason got this wild idea that if they were to bring in a handful of content creators into the campaign in the waning moments, that they were going to be able to pull in some of the most influential people from social media and get them over the hump. As a matter of fact, Ryan Mata put a video out yesterday or today, basically saying that when he was invited, they were specifically told that all they needed to do was to bring in an extra 3,000 votes on top of what Thomas Massie got last time. 3,000 votes. That's all the influencers there were designed to do. That's it. Well, they actually brought in more than 3,000. As a matter of fact, I think they brought in like 7,000 or 8,000 more votes. 7,000 or 8,000. As a matter of fact, it was a 19% increase over his vote total from 2024 to 2026. So the social media influencers that showed up, I would argue, probably did the job that Tom Massie was expecting them to do and then some. But the problem is we're better at this than they are, and they're pissed off. You hired the wrong social media influencers, Thomas Massie and whoever your campaign manager is. You hired the wrong people. You hired people who didn't have any moral center to them, to where a actual Iron Cross swastika wearing Nazi showed up in your event, and none of them had the moral courage to stand up and say, he has to go. Not one of them said that. Do you know we would be having a very different conversation if someone like Logic and Liberty or someone like Takes Naps or somebody like Tiffany were to stand up and say, excuse me, Mr. Congressman, we can't do this. This guy has to go. Thomas Massie probably would have won that primary had one of those content creators had the balls to say something about Ryan Mata being included in the creators for Massie. I'm not even arguing that Thomas Massie knew who Ryan Mata was. I think he was invited or invited himself as just somebody who wanted to show up to be part of it. I actually think, and this is just my opinion, that this was planned.
Network memberships.
Yeah. I actually believe, and this is just my opinion, I can't prove it. My opinion is that there was some conversations happening over here amongst the American Reich founder and his first lady of the American Reich of the whatever, and Ryan Mata to say, let's figure out how we can use this event to launch your organization. I would argue that Thomas Massie and his campaign probably got used by Ryan Mata, and they didn't even know it. But not one single content creator had the balls to stand up and say, this is not okay. As a result, go ahead.
As a result.
Go ahead, SK. No,
I was just gonna say, it really seems like the American Reich is enjoying the publicity.
Yeah, they are.
Well,
they're
fine.
thrilled.
Yeah, fine. They're thrilled. But listen, it's not just about hold on. The content creators that were there, the creators for Massie, I beat this to death. They had their find people on both sides moment, and they failed. They botched it. The real problem here is the campaign itself did not recognize that even if Massie had no idea who Ryan Mata was, they didn't recognize the optics. Again, campaigns are snapshots and sound bites. And I've told you, and this is, listen, I will take this to my grave, and I don't actually care if any of you self-important, self-filleting creators out there have a problem with me saying this. I will take this to my grave. If Thomas Massie had won that primary, I guarantee you today in every mainstream media, you would see headlines that Thomas Massie was campaigning with a fucking Nazi. And then we'd have had to spend the next 6 months going that, and then going into the general election for the presidency in 2028, defending that. I know that for a fact because we've had to do it for 10 years already with no evidence. And by the way, there is actual evidence of this. Here is the evidence.
That's right.
Right there. That's the evidence. That right there is the campaign ad for whoever Thomas Massie's opponent is going to be. That's all they have to run. And then
no, put that picture back up, because I want people to actually take a look at some of these posts.
Yeah, Hitler was a hero.
So there's one down here in the bottom says, Hitler loved the German people. He died fighting for them. It would be more like if Hitler turned on his own citizens. Go back and listen to his speeches in English. You will learn a lot. I remember growing up as a kid thinking Hitler was so evil. Why didn't any take him out? Now we know Hitler was the greatest president in all of human history. There will never be a second best. Did you see what Hitler did for his citizens? I want him as my president. I tried to reach Kyle Seraphin, or try to teach Kyle Seraphin that Gaddafi was the good guy, just like Hitler, but it's hard teaching an old dog new tricks. This is the guy that the Thomas Massie campaign gave a platform. He gave a platform. So
yeah,
the reason why, in my opinion, the reason why all of these fake ass black pill want to be America first influencers and their sycophants in the comments are so pissed off is because they hired what they thought were the creme de la creme of social media influencers, the libertarians of the libertarians that were going to get him over the finish line. And what they didn't count on is the fact that there was a core group of us who knew exactly who Ryan Matta was, because I've been tracking this guy. I've been tracking the Candace Owens cult ever since she stepped foot into this space after Charlie Kirk was assassinated. So I knew who this guy was. Nam knew who this guy was. SK knew who this guy was. We understood who was joining their ranks. So it was just a matter of pulling out his own statements and his own comments and his own videos and showing them to Kentucky voters.
Yeah.
Because here's what ultimately happened. Sorry, Nam, were you going to say something? Guys, jump in, because I'm just going to
agree.
here. So
I agree.
I
I'm
totally agree. The only thing that I don't 100% agree with is when you're talking about the influencers at Massie's events and over the weekend campaigning for him. I've even said, I don't like conflict. I might not have like gone up to Ryan and, you know, said something to him personally, but I definitely would have made a video saying, look, I was at this event, this guy showed up, and I just want you to know, I definitely don't agree with this. I don't align with this. And whether I would have gone back the next day, I don't know, but I would have definitely said something about it.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah. So listen, and I'm going to throw this challenge out.
Anything.
Listen, if there was a creator there who posted that video, I haven't seen it. If it's there, please send it to me, and I will resend all of this to that one creator. And by the way, you are the only ones that we are talking to. We are talking to the creators for Massie that were in the room who, by my research that I can do, said nothing, did nothing, and the Massie campaign themselves. That's it. At no point did I ever claim that that all Massie supporters are Nazi sympathizers or Nazis.
Never.
At no point did I say that, because you what?
Never. I agree with you. Keep going.
No, because this had nothing to do with Massie's supporters, because I guarantee you, most of you didn't even see this, but there was a lot of creators who did. But I mean, it's beside the point. We had a Kentucky voter. He didn't live in Massie's district, but he lives in Kentucky, right? On our live event that we did last night. And what did he tell us? He told us that you can have all the libertarians of the libertarian creators that you want to come and show up. Turns out there's not actually a lot of libertarians in Kentucky, let alone in Massie's district. So Kentucky voters said, nope, we're done. By the way, the pressure against Massie had been building for years, and it broke. This is politics, guys. This is what primaries are about. They are vigorous debates about who we want in the party, the direction we want the party. And it turns out we don't want Nazis campaigning with our candidates at all. So,
because we don't want to have to defend it. And I know a lot of people are like, well, you wouldn't have to defend it. No, we absolutely would, because 100%. The most important thing in this primary was selecting the candidate that is then going to run in a general that is critically important to retain the majority in the House of Representatives, to retain the ability to subpoena, to lead different groups and investigations. Like, it's that important to make sure that you have enough bodies on the Republican side. And I wouldn't have defended Thomas Massie. We could have very well surrendered that seat. And as it stands now, Ed Gilran may not be the best candidate. He may not be the best Republican. I don't know. But what I do know is that I'm not going to have to go out and defend his platforming of a Nazi. I'm not going to have to do that. But here's why they're really pissed off. All right. This is the bottom line. So this is a post that is now starting to make its way around social media. For some reason, all of the fake and gay people, they can't seem to wrap their heads around what this image is actually showing you, right? So this is Sam Parker, who's one of Candace Owens' biggest sycophants, one of the Demon Queen cultists, said, did Massie get 2020'd? Massie increased his turnout by 19% over 2024. Galen increased the opposition turnout by 357%. Today's turnout doubled 2024's and the highest overall vote total in Kentucky history. Was this really driven by get out the vote? They're basically alleging that there was fraud involved in the Kentucky race because their guy got beat, because he actually did increase his vote total by 19%. The problem is the opponent's votes against Thomas Massie increased by 356%. What they didn't count on is the 5 or 6 or 8 or 10 of us content creators who knew who Ryan Maddow was, knowing exactly where to go to find the things that he said and he's done and the images that he's shown, and start making videos on it. They didn't count on the fact that there was going to be pushback on these creators for doing nothing to stop this. Like I said, I think we'd be having a very different conversation, and we'd be having and Thomas Massie would probably be the candidate this November had anybody in that group, particularly the campaign, said, you know what, Ryan, you can't be here because we can't be seen with this. But they didn't. They didn't. They just sat there.
Just takes a tiny bit of moral courage. I mean, just a little bit.
It's not even moral courage. It's just like,
it's campaign 101.
Use your brains.
It's campaign 101. And listen, I know we're going to go through all of this, but I have a question.
Sure.
I have a question. What other way are sane people who understand history and the weight of history, what other way are we supposed to interpret the word Reich, American Reich? Because I've seen so many of these people who, in my opinion, are actually justifying what happened. Because when you say, yeah, but what about, you are essentially saying, well, I mean, maybe it was justified. So when you say, yeah, but the word Reich really just means empire. Okay. Then why didn't they use the word American empire? They use the word Reich because they know it carries a very, very particular loaded connotation. Otherwise, you don't use it. I mean, where else has the word Reich ever been attributed to before now? Now when it's Thomas Massie, it's just about an American empire. No, dude,
it's
you know what you're doing.
It's not even accurate just to call this some nebulous German version of the word empire. The term Reich does not just mean empire. So I did some deep dive into this before I started making videos about the American Reich sweatshirt, because I wanted to make sure I knew what the hell I was talking about. Because in case you guys haven't noticed yet, and I know you guys in the chat have, this group relies on research. We don't just make shit up. Because when you make stuff up, you end up looking like an idiot. So I did a little bit of research on this. And the term Reich is actually very central to what's called a tripartite historical narrative, right? And it's often called the Three Reichs. It was popularized in German nationalist and later Nazi ideology. They didn't use this term Reich before the Germans and the Nazis popularized it. This framework portrayed German history as a succession of grand empires, each building on or fulfilling the previous ones. The First Reich, which was the Holy Roman Empire, it was seen as the direct successor to the ancient Roman Empire in the West, with the German king as the Holy Roman Emperor. The Second Reich was the German Empire from 1871 to 1918, proclaimed by Otto von Bismarck after German unification under Prussian leadership. It was viewed as a revival of imperial greatness after the fragmentation following the Holy Roman Empire's dissolution. And then the Third Reich was Nazi Germany. This was a succession. This was a term that was used specifically to define this rise of German power. You don't just use the term Reich for no reason at all. You use it because it symbolizes something. It symbolizes taking over a nation, a country, and subjecting it to your will. That's what Reich is meant to tell people. It's not just, man, it's just another group. It's just another word for empire. No. They intentionally picked this word to symbolize the German rise to power in multiple different iterations. And the last one was the Nazi empire. That's what they did it for.
Here, and this comment saying it's the German word for empire long before them. Here's the thing, though. Anyone in the world that sees that word is going to automatically associate it with what?
Yep. Hitler, Nazis. Hitler, Nazis. There's no other way to interpret it. I'm sorry. There's not.
Right. And then when you really start digging into some of these people, the founder and the cabinet, there's some shady things there. But also when you compare it with other organizations, like the one that those two kids were a part of in San Diego, it all kind of starts to make more sense, because when I was up here Monday, after having looked at this for 3 days straight, I was saying I was really confused because there was this occult stuff involved, but there was also skinhead stuff involved. And they're saying it's not that kind of Reich. And I didn't know there were different types of skinheads. I had no idea. And I'm 43 years old. I just thought a skinhead was a skinhead, but I got to learn all about that. Which again is why I don't say anything without having receipts, which is why I just, by the way, made sure that the receipts were in the Dropbox, and I just labeled it receipts, and you can scroll through some of those screenshots. I didn't even really put very much in there, but I damn sure put something in there that we can put on the screen to show that we were not just running our mouth when we said something about skinheads. There's receipts for that too.
Well, let's get to that here in just a second. I want to, so perfectly misaligned. This is a really good point, and I think it's worth clarifying. Well, I mean, Trump does talking about taking over the Western Hemisphere. There's a fundamental difference. What Donald Trump is deploying is what's called the American economic system, which is the only economic system in modern history, really, it actually goes back hundreds of years, that is specifically designed to uplift regions around the globe, to allow partnership from neighboring countries to work together so they can improve the lives of their citizens. What the Reichs were doing was authoritarian, totalitarian domination of regions. They were basically the imperialist system before the British imperialist system got its footing. And effectively, the British imperialist system just took over right where the Nazi empire left off. They just were doing it much more subtly. They weren't doing it by putting people in gas chambers. They were doing it by creating financial tools and monetary instruments that can suck the productivity and the national wealth out of a country without you even knowing what they were doing, because they were cloaking it in this amazing idea of globalism, where you send all of your manufacturing to another country and then you pay to bring all that stuff back into the country again. There's a fundamental difference between what Nazi Germany Reichists were doing and the American economic system, which is designed to create prosperity, not subjugation.
Listen, and listen, all of that is all fantastic. That's well stated. It's completely accurate. But 99% of voters in this country, when they see and hear the word Reich, they think of only one thing.
That's right.
Right. And they know that when they use the phrase. So for us to believe that this was completely innocuous and that the mission statement of the American Reich is actually true, that would mean that you're going to have to educate, I don't know, 200 million people, maybe 150 million people into what you mean. Because, I mean, we got what? 75, 70, 78. We got 75 to 80 million voters on each side. 150 million voters each general presidential election are going to be voting, and I can guarantee you 149 million of them, when they look at the word Reich, it carries one meaning, one connotation with them.
Fascism. That's right. It carries authoritarian, socialist, fascism. That's the connotation.
And it also carries Holocaust.
That's right.
I mean,
that's right.
I'm sorry, whether you want to deny it or not,
no,
you want to call
that didn't happen. That never
you want
happened.
to call it the
according to
Holocaust. You want to do whatever you want. At the end of the day, the history books are very clear, and what the end result of all of this was. And it was 6 million Jews that were murdered at the hands of the Nazis in the concentration camps. And you can do it and try to deny it all you want, but the term Reich is forever linked to the Holocaust, to exterminating Jews. Oh, and by the way, when your entire X profile is filled with anti-Jew rhetoric, I don't know what else you want me to think, especially when I just watched a video of you with your Iron Cross and a swastika on it. I'm sorry. If it walks like a fucking Nazi, it's a fucking Nazi.
Well, it looks like somebody maybe over in one of their TikTok lives are sending people into the chat, because there's a few of them here that just showed up.
Oh, good.
So
Thumb thugging couch Karens,
learn
my
something.
favorite.
Yes. So now that the couch Karens, the thumb thuggers are here and they're going to be polluting the chat, maybe we should go back to the beginning and we should just quickly show them who Ryan Matta is. And then we should show them what really kicked off their outrage today. So this is who Ryan Matta is, this guy right here. And because it's pretty small and you probably can't read it very well, I'm just going to go ahead and read some of the pinned posts that are embedded into this image for you so that you can hear it. You can hear who this guy is. Hitler loved the German people. He died fighting for them. It would be more like if Hitler turned on his own citizens. Go back and listen to his speeches in English. You will learn a lot. He goes on and says, and this, by the way, this was just last August. I remember growing up as a kid thinking Hitler was so evil. Why didn't anyone take him out? Now we know Hitler was the greatest president in all of human history. There will never be a second best. And then he goes on and says, did you see what Hitler did for his citizens? I want him as my president. I tried to teach Kyle Seraphin that Gaddafi was the good guy, just like Hitler, but it's hard teaching an old dog new tricks. This is the guy that the campaign invited in and allowed him to stand shoulder to shoulder with Thomas Massie. Allowed him, because
that's campaign malpractice.
Because all of this information was uncovered because we knew it was there, because we've done our homework. I made videos on it. Nam made videos on it. SK doesn't make videos that often, but does a ton of work on X. And a whole bunch of other people who knew who Ryan Matta was started sharing it. And then the next thing you know, a couple of days later, Ed Gilrine ends up pulling off what is probably going to be remembered as the biggest political upset in modern history, simply because our creators are better than their creators. They allowed him in, and we exposed him. Now, like I said earlier, real quick, let me just say this again. Like I said earlier, if Thomas Massie, his campaign, or any of those content creators would have stood up and say, Ryan Matta, you have to leave, you're not welcome here because of the things that you believe and have said, we'd be having a very different conversation. And because they refused to do that, that is why I posted this. And this is the thing that has Sunni, has Political Mom, has Tumblr, has all of the libertarian faggot people up in arms right now. They cannot stomach the idea that there's a litmus test on being part of the Republican Party, and particularly part of MAGA. They are outraged. I said, you're damn right MAGA has a purity test. No Nazis whatsoever. No American Reich whatsoever. As long as you aren't a Nazi sympathizer, willing to stand shoulder to shoulder with a Nazi or pretend you didn't know, then you're welcome. Nam, SK, help me out here. Is that a high bar for people to reach? Is that difficult?
No.
Is that hard?
Especially if you called yourself a Trump supporter at one point in time or another. You've had to combat this for over a decade. But I think some of Autumn's comments need to go up here, starting with the one where she mentions logic and liberty. Not a single one of us have said anything about any of the creators being a Nazi other than the one that there is a pile of evidence for. It's one thing to point to somebody and say, you're a Nazi, without anything to back that up. It's another thing when you have endless receipts and their own words and their own videos wearing swastika and gear that says American Reich on it. That's totally different.
Listen,
nobody's calling any of the other creators Nazis.
Listen, I don't know how much more clear we can be about this, because I mean, you go over to my TikTok account and you could literally watch my videos. I mean, you can watch the words, you can listen to the words that come out of my mouth. Our problem with the creators for Massie that were in the room with Ryan Matta for 3 fucking days is that not a single one of them looked at him when he's wearing an American Reich sweatshirt, an American Reich hack. And by the way, we showed all of them the video of Ryan Matta 2 months ago showing off his brand new shiny iron cross with the swastika in it, and not a
like
fucking one of them said a word. Not one of them said a word about it. That is what we are saying. I'm not saying that Logic and Liberty is guilty of being a sympathizer. I'm saying that I'm disappointed that she didn't say anything about it.
Yep, that's right.
That she didn't distance herself from it.
As a matter of fact, Nam, you actually tried to engage Logic in the comments section of a video. And she retorted back to you pretty upset and disappointed, if I remember, that you
tell you what happened.
You would not talk. Tell the story, because I have one as well.
So I did. So as soon as I saw this, she posted a video and I was like, "Are you serious?" I don't remember exactly what it said because I deleted it. Something like, "Are you seriously in the room while this is happening and you're saying nothing about it?" And she came back and she replied. She said, "I'm very disappointed. I thought there was enough mutual respect between us that you wouldn't talk, that you would say this stuff about me when I'm not in the room." And she said, "My DMs are always open." That was Saturday morning around like 11:30 in the morning Central Time. So I immediately went to her DMs. I deleted the comment. I immediately went to her DMs. I sent her a few messages clarifying. I apologized for making that comment in public without going to her first. And then I sent her a couple of the videos that I had made and showing her exactly what we had found. That now is 6 days ago, and she has still not responded to any of my DMs after she said her DMs are open. Guys, I am not calling Logic and Liberty a Nazi or a Nazi sympathizer. I'm saying that she had a duty, in my opinion, to say, I am not comfortable campaigning with an actual Nazi. That is not a high bar at all. If it is, then we've got a very different problem.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And as a matter of fact, I haven't told anybody this yet, but I'll show the receipts if I have to. I actually reached out to Logic myself. I think it was Saturday, maybe Sunday, I'm not sure. After hearing that she had told Nam, "Hey, my DMs are open, message me," I messaged her several times and said, "Hey, you need to be careful with these American Reichists. They are not who you think they are," or something to that effect. And I still have not heard back from her yet. Not even an acknowledgement. Nothing. So yes, I am incredibly disappointed by some of the content creators that I have followed, that I've enjoyed, I've engaged with on many occasions, who
work
just
together,
work together, who just crapped the bed. And I'm sorry if it offends you, but here's the bottom line. There is a litmus test. You can't do that. Or if you did, how about you just come out and say, "I made a mistake. I screwed up. I wanted to be there for the candidate. I too was shocked that there was an actual Nazi who was and it wasn't just like he showed up and got a picture, guys. He was invited to everything. He was in the campaign events with the creators. He was invited to Thomas Massie's home. And there are still creators today who are defending him, defending it. Do you guys know this this Bobby Sauce guy? Nam, do you have that? Can you pull that up real quick?
Yep.
Because Bobby, and by the way, I saw a comment.
This is what it looks.
Hold on. Someone in the chat
one?
hold on. Someone in the chat was like, "I just found this channel last week. Is this all you guys do is trash other content creators?" No, as a matter of fact, that's not what we do at all. We do deep investigative research on topics that are critically important, including allowing Nazis into your movement. Because what triggered this entire kerfuffle today is the fact that this group, SK and Nam, particularly, dug deep into who the American Reich are, their founders, the things that they had said in the past, the organizations that maybe they had been a part of in the past. And we talked about it at length on Monday. And the response that we're getting from the fake ass black pill wannabe American First
it's
crowd
just like Autumn
is to call us cowards.
What perfect
to call us
timing.
cowards.
Put Autumn's comment
There
on
it
the
is.
screen so
I see
everybody
it.
can see. Oh no! This
Autumn,
defense,
Autumn, you're
everybody's
3 days
using.
late.
I would encourage you to go research. You can find like a whole documentary style video that was made leading up to that dinner, Kanye West and Nick Fuentes, and you will know that Donald Trump had no idea Nick Fuentes was even going to be there. He had no idea who he was. Also, he was wearing a suit and tie, and he didn't say a bunch of Nazi shit. He definitely didn't walk in wearing a swastika necklace, having an American Reich shirt on, because he probably would have never got through the door at Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah. To be fair, I don't think
importantly-
Ryan Maddow was wearing the swastika, was wearing the iron cross with the swastika at the event. But I'm sorry, you've got American Reich literally imprinted on your shirt. It's there.
Yep.
It was not an accident, folks. He was
That's exactly
advertising
right.
this. Advertising
That's exactly
it.
right. So let's do this, because Autumn, what's funny is when I was on the panel for the brief moment that Sunni let me talk today, I asked the question, do you know who Ryan Maddow is? And her response was no. Like, huh? You know, let me just show you how close they allowed this actual Nazi to get to the candidate. Shall we show you? Okay, here we go.
Israel firsters.
This is what it looks like when we're about to watch AIPAC burn about $15 million.
Hey, keep spending. I
Yeah.
want you to burn $100 million.
100 million, 100 million.
You know what? Burn the next 250 million, Miriam.
And we hear that this hoodie really upsets you guys, so if you don't mind, I might throw it on for another pic.
In case you're wondering, that is Thomas Massie standing right behind him. Right.
Not
behind
only
him.
that, but a whole article was written. I know I've talked about it on here 100 times, but Data Republican put out a whole article on the funding for the associations with Medea Benjamin from Code Pink and Iran. And I've talked to you guys all about the trips to Iran, Cuba, China, Palestine, North Korea. Yeah, but there's receipts. There's receipts with phone calls and coordination between Iran with Medea Benjamin. Medea Benjamin was standing behind your boy Massie too. Don't you find that a little odd? We've all seen all of the campaign funding for Massie. So if you want to talk about Israel AIPAC funding, I would also probably address the Iranian funding.
Well, we're going to talk about AIPAC because we'll get to it in a second. But I listen, Autumn. I mean, you can thumb thug all in the comments all you want, but here's the deal, right? We just spent, I mean, what 43 minutes in this podcast.
Hold just 1 second.
Yeah.
There's a difference between registering as with FARA, because there's a foreign country funding something in the United States and people associated with foreign countries, and American Israelis. American Israelis are not foreign countries, Autumn. And I hate it that you would say something like that about your fellow Americans. It's actually really shitty.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
it just
well, they're
shows
shitty.
the
I'm sorry,
heart
Autumn's a
and
shitty
core of
person,
who these
folks.
people are.
Autumn's a shitty person. I don't know Autumn. I don't know Autumn at all, but based on her comments, she is literally in here justifying Ryan Maddow wearing American Reich apparel after we just told her, we just read literally what Ryan Maddow thinks about Hitler, thinks about Nazis, swastika, American Reich gear, and Autumn is literally in here saying, and so what? Well, I'm going to tell you right now, Autumn, you are who we're talking to. You are not welcome. I'm sorry. Fine. Go vote for Democrats. They love fascists. They love
They
Nazis.
do.
By all
So
means,
one of my
Hold on.
best
you're not
friends just
welcome
got me
here.
this new microphone. I don't know if you guys have
Let's
seen it yet,
show
but
let's real quick. Let's show
Autumn.
this video just so everyone knows that we're not making it up, because one thing this team does is we find the truth before we report it. Here you go.
So one of my best friends just got me this new microphone. I don't know if you guys have seen it yet, but I hear it kind of matches my necklace. I was just curious.
He of course he wanted to try to be sly about it. So he was talking about his microphone, and right underneath his microphone
No. You
iron
did
cross.
not give that justice. No. We
There-
are not
there's
done
one
with
where
this.
he winked too. Okay,
No.
go ahead.
We are not done with this. Look, Autumn, look very, very closely. Please look that is a swastika in the middle of that iron cross. That's just what it is. And by the way, Autumn, would you please, Jesus Christ, because that's his campaign's fucking job to know it, and he's wearing a fucking sweatshirt that says American
I'll
right.
tell you.
What the?
I'll tell you how. I'll tell you
These
how.
people are stupid.
Because,
I'm sorry. She's a
because
fucking retard.
Crazy.
Autumn's a fucking retard. Get her out of here.
So-
Autumn's a fucking retard.
No, let her stay. We just don't have to engage her anymore. But I want to say this last thing. All right, Autumn. What you may not know is that myself and about 6 or 7 other creators who saw that video personally tagged and sent it to the campaign. That's how we know that they knew and they didn't care. Like this wasn't just something that we had and didn't show anybody. I tagged content creators, I tagged Logic, I tagged Tiffany, I tagged several other people in content so that they would see this. The campaign manager, their digital coordinator, and several other people did the exact same thing. This was on Saturday morning after we saw the photographs of him standing in the sweatshirt and the hat. So they went Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, and they allowed him to stay there. But what's worse is they showed the American people, and particularly the voters in Kentucky, how little they care about the optics by inviting him to Thomas Massie's house on Saturday night, where where Ryan Maddow made a long stream of content bragging about no political candidate being willing to let someone like Ryan Maddow get that close to the candidate. And Thomas Massie did. This is why Thomas Massie lost. This is why he lost. Because he made the biggest political blunder probably in American history, and he platformed an actual Nazi. Now, if you want to get mad at me for pointing out the fact that we don't want Nazis in our tent, and if that offends you, maybe you need to take a look in the mirror, Autumn, Sunni, political mom. We want you to come up on this show next Monday or Wednesday, whichever's convenient for you, so that we can have this conversation with you, so you can understand that I was not talking to you, the people in the comments, unless you're one of the people in the comments who are doing what Autumn does and basically saying, well, what's wrong with that? Well, what's wrong with that is we don't allow Nazis in our party. It's that simple. If you don't like it, get the hell out. I don't know how else to put it. Get out if you don't like the fact that we don't want Nazis in our movement. Sorry.
I still can't wrap my head around how this is how this is like, there's conflict around this concept. How is this confusing?
I told you
they just don't want to be wrong. Right?
Can we play that video now so we can show the receipts? Because I'm dying to show these receipts, because I don't like it when people say something was said that isn't true when there's actual receipts. I would play the video of you guys are full of shit because I did research. And there's nothing about skinhead anything. Here's the mission statement. And I'm going to be honest, I didn't watch the whole video. As soon as I saw her say skinhead and there was nothing about skinhead anywhere, I immediately swiped out of the video and went immediately to my text and said, you guys have seen the receipts. I have the receipts.
SK, I don't know what video you're talking about. What's it called?
The one where that's Sunni made about you guys.
Receipts?
Oh, yeah.
It's not. No.
Sunni.
Yeah.
It's Sunni made. Oh, yeah.
Okay. Stuff associated with this organization, with the founder of the organization and one of the other guys in the cabinet. Because that's normal.
Is it the Sunni Crash-Out or Sunni Failing?
I think it's the Sunni Failing one.
I don't know, whichever one.
Flabbergasted.
Okay. This one? No.
Sunni Failing litmus test.
Okay.
So flabbergasted as to why we're labeling people Nazis, calling them the woke right, saying that you don't belong. What are you talking about?
It's the one that she made, like the actual video she posted on TikTok that somebody sent me.
Oh, we don't have that. We don't have that.
We can get
that video in here.
I'll get it over. You guys keep talking.
We don't have that in here. I mean, I stitched it and responded to it because I'm basically shadow banned on TikTok. It's sitting at like 150 views.
They're probably all reporting.
Oh yeah. Well, fine. They can report all they want, but I mean, listen, folks, this is not a difficult topic to be had, and I don't understand why people are so willing and interested in inviting the opportunity as you go into a fucking general election for the entirety of the media apparatus and the Democrat Party to point at any Republican candidate and say, see, we told you they're Nazis. And by the way, here's the this is just literally the dumbest crash out I've ever seen in my entire life. Frankly, listen, it is okay for all of you that have spent all day long defending this. It is okay for you to say, this we shouldn't be defending this. They're right.
Here we go.
It's okay for you to do that.
Here we go.
American Reich, if you're not familiar with them, they are an up-and-coming organization that is made up of largely of ex-skinheads who are people that think that they can carve out a middle ground in politics by pretending to be something that they're not.
So I went and did a little digging myself because I wanted to find out who this American Reich company was, and look what I found. And what do you know? I ended up finding their mission statement. I also found a video from their founder, but strengthen America through local action. Okay. Defend and uphold the Constitution.
What a researcher.
Okay.
So difficult to find.
Lawful civic engagement. Doesn't seem very neo-Nazi to me. Promote integrity and accountability in government. Empower communities in responsible leadership. Reject political violence and extremism. Wouldn't that seem to contradict Patriot Dad's claim of him being a skinhead? Although he did say former skinhead. So maybe they don't even subscribe to racist ideology anymore. I mean, do we really have to guess about that if this organization is willing to support equal opportunity for all Americans and stand up against intimidation and bullying? Protect liberty and prosperity for future generations? There's nothing here that says anything about skinheads, Nazis, none of that. Jews, like what are we talking about? But
listen,
what do we know since we're all not?
When we have Sunni on, and I hope they come on, because we'll have an adult conversation. When we have them on, can you please like give a tutorial on how to actually do some research real quick for us so that people understand how to get below the stuff that they want you to see and find the things that you need to see?
I mean, I only have a stack of poster boards and like one package of markers. So
all right, SK, what do you got? Because she said some pretty dumb things there.
yeah, I quit listening after the skinhead thing. I don't know what else she said, but if you go to the receipts and put up the t-shirt picture.
Go to the receipts and put up the t-shirt picture.
We can
All right,
also
let me
look
do
at the
that.
date because I know she said former, so maybe they're not even
Oh.
associated anymore.
I mean,
We'll
SK,
see.
you've got
We'll see.
19 receipts in here. We're just
that
gonna go
is-
through all of
I
them.
have like 275. Those are just the ones I sent you.
Okay, so we'll start with number one. Let's just start with number one. Oh, we've got
No, let's not start with number one. I want to prove her wrong on the skinhead thing. Pull up the t-shirt with the roses.
First of all, I can't because we've got too much other stuff up here. So Patriot Dad, we're getting rid of that. We're going to get rid of Massie and Medea hugging each other like they're fucking childhood best friends. We could probably get rid of the Sunni Discord comments because yes, Sunni, we can see them. Fun.
Hold on, let's show that because apparently Sunni thinks I'm a coward, which is weird because when I heard that you were bad-mouthing me on your live, I immediately came in, asked you to come up on the panel, and then you spent the totality of the time muting me and then booted me off your live because you didn't like what I was saying. And I am now publicly inviting you. Hold on, put the camera here. I am now, and SK and Nam are now publicly inviting you and Political Mom to show up here Monday or Wednesday, whichever works best for you at 9:30 Eastern, and you can call me a coward to my face.
I mean, you guys are dragging me into drama, and you know how I feel about drama. I just want to prove her wrong that the skinheads are in fact associated.
Okay, have the show.
All right. So which image is the skinhead one?
The t-shirt with the roses. I think we showed it. Did we not?
It's
Monday?
6. Receipt 6.
Receipt 6. Okay. Here we go. Receipt 6.
Okay. Oh, okay. What is this? This is a post from Punk Rock Shirts, Conservative Military Image, Roses. Conservative Military Image, CMI, American Skinhead Hardcore, Casual Violence. Oh, wait. Now pull up the Google search result that you click on to get to this picture and then see who this picture came from.
That's 7.
Remove.
Receipt 7.
Yep, I'm on it. Receipt 7. Here we go. By the way,
So remember-
Sunni, this is how you do actual research.
Okay.
By the
What
way.
does this say? Photo by Christopher who? Oh, that's right. The founder of American Reich in Los Angeles, California, with Wick_actual, who's a member of the cabinet of American Reich. If you're not anti-fascist, what are you?
Antifa. Fascism.
Will win.
Will win.
Okay. Now there's more.
Well,
Now,
hold on.
what is
Wait, no,
conservative
pause.
Real quick.
military
Pause.
image
No,
you
pause.
asked?
Pause.
Hold
Slow
on.
down. Slow down. Slow down.
We
slow
have
down,
to we
slow
have
down,
to
slow
sit
down,
on this
slow
for
down,
just
slow
a
down.
second.
Yes,
Did
we
you
do.
see
Calm
what
down.
SK just showed you? She just showed you that he was promoting a shirt that talked about skinhead violence, and it takes you to an organization with a photograph by the founder of American Reich that talks about Antifa winning. Does
By the
that
way,
sound
What's the
SK,
like
date
can you
on
tell
that?
us-
Wait, what's the date on that photo, by the way? Oh, February 13th.
February
So
13th
after
of
American
2026.
Reich was founded in January of 2026. Got it. Okay. But the mission statement doesn't say that. So it must not be associated at all. Just the founder and the cabinet member in February after the group was founded in January. Now, what is conservative military image, you might ask?
I don't know.
which one?
What is it, SK?
Oh,
Actually, I do know, but
yeah, so it's a band, a punk rock band, and it was founded as a one-man project by frontman lyricist Adam Voss in Chicago to inject fresh energy into what he saw as a stagnant skinhead scene. Oh, what kind of songs do they have, you might ask? Oh, I don't know. They're known for their raw, energetic live shows and direct, clever lyrics about street life, pride, violence, and scene commentary. Albums/EPs include Summer Skinhead, Casual Violence, and others available on Bandcamp and vinyl. Oh,
question for you, SK.
do you want more
I
information?
still have a question. No, I have a question. I have a question. So since we have this Google search that gets you to that image of that T-shirt, which is basically affiliated with the skinhead band, and you've got Christopher Galen, who, by the way, I mean, you probably didn't know this, Sunni. Christopher Galen is the founder, right? And Christopher Galen is basically, promoting. If you're not anti-fascist, we know what that means, right? They're basically promoting Antifa. Here's my question for you, SK. What is the logo for Antifa?
Oh, weird. They like to use roses because, there was also a rose
Oh.
revolution. I don't know if you know anything about color revolutions, but you should probably research that too, Sunni. And I know that I've been on TikTok for only like 2 years, and I know it's been a while since I've debated on TikTok, but I don't say anything without having receipts, Sunni.
So when you see a T-shirt covered in roses and it's affiliated with skinheads, you guys understand the horseshoe theory of political ideology, right? Where the radical left and then the radical right actually end up meeting over here in the same space. That imagery of the roses is not a mistake. None of this is a mistake, Sunni. None of it. And by the way, this happened after your mission statement was written. But I mean, we've got 19 more of these. What else do you want to see? What else do you want to show?
I don't
us,
know.
okay? I mean, we just
Well,
pick
so
one
I,
and
so
I'll
one thing.
explain
No,
it.
I have
we just
one
kept
because
going.
before
We just kept
before
going.
she brought me, I have one because before she brought me up on her panel, she was reading scripture and she was talking. Sunni was talking about how she believes in the Old Testament version of how to treat Jews effectively. That was her perspective. Is that if it's said the way I perceived it, and if I'm wrong, Sunni, you can correct me Monday or Wednesday. Was that we need to be much harsher with Israel and with the Jewish people. And she even, or people in her comments even called me a fake Christian. A fake Christian. That's one of the things that they've been coming after is my faith. So she was leaning into supporting this American Reich nonsense from a Christian perspective. Should we show her what the founder of the American Reich thinks about religion?
Oh, we should.
mean, you
the
can't
I love Jesus on his forearm from his elbow to his wrist in 2014 from social media accounts that he probably forgot that he had. Oh, yeah, I found those too because, again, research, not just going onto their Instagram and pulling their mission statement.
Yep.
Yeah,
And
I'm
what's-
going to need
what's-
you to tell me what these numbers are.
5, pull up 5, pull up 2, pull up 1, 5, 2, 1.
Oh,
and
here's
9,
the
and 9.
founder. Here, from a
Oh,
religious
what year?
standpoint, Sunni, here's your
2014.
here's
Oh.
your founder. Religion poisons everything. This guy's not
Uh-oh.
religious. He's
Uh-oh.
actually atheist and anarchist. That's not Satanist.
Uh-oh.
We'll get to
Wait,
that in a minute.
Is that an upside down cross for that T?
Yeah.
Huh.
Mm.
Weird.
Yeah, hold on. Yeah, we'll get to that in a minute. So we're gonna remove that. And you said 2. You need we want to see receipt number 2. So by the way, I mean, in case you were curious, Sunni and Liberty Mom or whatever the fuck her name is, political mom.
No, be nice.
This is
We
how
want
you
them to come on the
actually.
show Monday.
I
or
don't know
Wednesday.
their name. I'm sorry. I don't
Political
know
mom.
who these people are.
Political
I don't know
mom.
who these people are. Political mom.
I actually really
This
like
is
Political
how you
Mom. I don't know Sunni.
you actually do research, right? So SK, again, guys, we did an hour and a half on all of this on Monday. You can just go back and watch it, but since you want to go through it again, we'll go through it again. We actually don't know, and we said very clearly we can't tell exactly what that is. That looks like an upside down pentagram to me, and we have other evidence
I
that
mean, there's
supports why we think
AI
that's an upside down
AI
pentagram.
just straight up says that it is Church of Satan and the Lithium, whatever it is. I don't
Do we
even
have-
know
do
any
we
of
have
this
that?
satanic stuff.
Which one's
but
that?
I also know what the tattoos are on his fingers and on his body because he's made that
Yeah.
clear and posted it
10,
on the
bring up
internet, which he
10.
probably forgot to delete.
So I don't think that's it.
No,
but
10?
put up the
We need-
Church of Satan logo.
Hold on, I don't know what the numbers are. You've
Oh,
got them
let me
labeled
pull it up.
receipts numbers.
I'm sorry. I just was trying to get it in there.
Bring up
You need
10.
receipts 10? Here's 10. Here's
Receipt
10.
number 10.
Okay. So now, do we have the video of Chris Galen from last week? Because or from Monday, I'll bring it up. Because this is important, right? This guy, actually, I need to go back.
We don't
and
need
get
the
it.
video. I don't know if
We
we
do.
need the video.
So, okay. So Chris Galen, the founder, was interviewed back in, I think, 2014 or 2015. He's talking about he's an author. He likes to write. And there's a segment of the interview on YouTube where the interviewer is asking him about his tattoos. And he was like, listen, every tattoo on my body means something to me. It's part of my journey, right? It tells a story about my journey and where I've come from and what I believe and where I'm going. He gave that interview before he had any of these hand tattoos at all. And then, by the way, he ended that segment of the interview saying, as you can tell by some of my tattoos, I'm a bit of an extremist. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty clear. Now, so he gave that interview before he had any of these hand tattoos. And since then, as someone who his tattoos all have very special meaning, they tell a story about who he is, about his life. Let's look at some of the tattoos that he chose to get after that. By the way, if you're like, well, they're just tattoos, you guys realize that, there's an entire, there's entire parts of police forces and law enforcement and the FBI that focus all of their time in trying to understand the symbolism of tattoos. I mean, that's just, it's a thing. So here we go. Now, we don't know what all of these mean, but I do know if you look right under the V on what is his right hand on the left side, that is an upside down pentagram. We've got a peace sign over here. That's really interesting. You've got an upside down cross. You've got an anarchy symbol there. I mean, what? Yes, please tell me more about how this all equates to the mission statement that you read.
But the
Pull
mission
up
statement,
receipt
the
number
mission
1.
statement.
receipt
Pull up
number
receipt
one.
number 1. Yeah.
Okay. Receipt number 1.
That looks an awful lot
Yeah.
like what was on
Oh.
the front of that dude's hat.
Yeah, except without the things around it, and maybe the goat looks a little bit different, but it definitely has words around it. It looks
What
very
is that?
similar. That's like the Church of Satan,
That's
whatever
the Church of
logo,
Satan. Yep. Hey, Nam, pull up receipt number 9
or
because
one
this
of the
is
logos.
this is one of the ones that really kind of tells the story, right? So receipt number 9, this is a post from him back in 2015. Remember, he said that all of his tattoos have meanings and they tell his story, but that would also mean that the tattoos you have covered up is telling another story also. Like, finally got these ridiculous Jesus tattoos covered. Battle axe and machete. Anything is better than and I don't know what that Instagram thing shows. So this is the guy who is creating a mission statement talking about effectively just wanting to meet in the middle and eliminate. The guy's lying to you, Sunni. He's flat out lying to you. And the problem that people like me have is that Thomas Massie and his campaign platformed the public launch of this organization because nobody knew who they were before Ryan Matta stood next to the candidate smiling with an American Reich sweatshirt on. He platformed the launch of what I think, my opinion, is a neo-Nazi, possibly skinhead organization, somewhat tangential to Antifa, trying to frame themselves as a moderate organization to convince a bunch of disaffected, fake and gay-ass Black Pill Republican voters that they should just go with them instead of voting in your best interest, because that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to peel off the Sunnis and the people like that who are upset that Donald Trump hasn't delivered everything that Donald Trump promised to deliver as quickly as they expected. So they are trying to move them over into a more radical realm so they can build more momentum. That's what we're upset about. That's the problem. They platformed this organization. And people like me and Nam and SK and a bunch of people over on X are the ones who exposed it. And if you get upset about that, I don't really care.
How about receipt number 4? Because we'll give them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe Reich doesn't actually mean what everybody thinks it means. It means just empire. Oh, but why would they post this 2 days before I looked it up a few days ago? Oh, weird. Huh. It's almost wait. There's one better.
Hold on. What's that image in the middle of that figure's head?
Pull up receipt 16.
Hold on.
Okay.
That's the Israeli flag. That's the Israeli flag.
Got it.
Yep. That's the Israeli flag.
Because they
it's
clearly
the
don't
Jews.
understand that
It's
the A.
the Jews.
They clearly don't understand that the A in APAC means American.
Yep. So you said 16?
16.
Okay. And then we have a video that we didn't play last week, actually. Do you remember the skeleton dude?
Monday?
Or Monday? Or maybe we did. I don't remember. Well, we can find it. We can dig it up. There we go.
Oh, definitely not a Nazi organization when they post from their American Reich Party. So definitely after the founding, because it was 5 days before I pulled this up, which was either what day did he show up at that thing? Saturday?
It was Saturdays when you started working on this.
Saturday, maybe. So 5 days before that. Oh, help us show the Synagogue of Satan how many of us there are. Who is the Synagogue of Satan, you might ask? Oh, they're saying it's Israel.
Yep.
Definitely not Reich like they meant in Germany.
No. It's a coincidence, folks. It's an absolute coincidence. But none of this. I mean, SK. I don't.
The mission statement, guys. The mission statement.
Ooh, the mission statement. Do we need to keep going on this, or can we move on?
I think
I've thoroughly proved the point that you can't just go pull up a mission statement and think you know everything about an organization. You actually have to do some research and do some digging and find YouTube accounts and social media accounts that they probably forgot they had in order to be able to find the truth.
Yep. I think.
By the way, that's Sunni. That's called research. That's what she just described, and what she just did, and we showed you is actually research and receipts. That's how you do this. Okay.
But Sunni, we'd love to show you in person. So you and Political Mom, we would like to extend an invitation for you to join us on Monday or Wednesday at 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 Central. A 2-hour show. We can have this conversation. We can show you in person, live, everything that we just showed this audience, and we can talk through whether or not you think it's acceptable for this organization to be platformed by a candidate that you're still defending and upset got beat yesterday. We can have that conversation. I'm happy to do it. But let's move the conversation forward just a little bit.
And Devil Dog, we have beat this like a dead cow, but when you want to thoroughly debunk somebody's claim that you're full of shit and you don't know what you're talking about and you're just talking out your ass, you kind of have to beat the dead cow. You kind of have to
Mom just brought me a strawberry milkshake.
Oh, that's great. You kind of just have to say, I know this might be enough, but I'm going to make sure and pile on a lot. I have more. We could do this for the next 2 days if you want to. but I'm not going to. We need to talk about something else because I put tons of stuff in the Dropbox today.
Non-pull-up influencers were wrong because here's why I think they're really upset. Because they trusted these people. It's a video.
Influence.
They trusted these people. They trusted these people. They believed them when they were blowing smoke up your ass about Thomas Massie and how well he was going to do. They believed him because they were believing their own hype.
They were smelling their own farts and filleting themselves.
I think it's close, but I think he's going to pull this off.
You can't primary every Thomas Massie, and there's a whole army of them coming at some point because everyone can see what's going on.
Striking down Massie, if they're successful, which I don't think they will be because the grassroots surge is so huge, it's like killing Obi-Wan Kenobi in front of Luke Skywalker. How did that work out?
Well, I like Thomas Massie. Just a no-brainer to support him in the primary, and just in general, because it's symbolic.
I've known very few honest members of Congress. I've known a couple, however. One of them just left Congress, and the other is being primaried.
MTG, Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Exactly. And Thomas Massie from Kentucky.
If it proves that Trump has an iron grip when Massie falls down, what about when Thomas Massie wins?
Massie in the primary, not only because I think it's unfair to Massie, who's a principled politician, a unicorn, really, when you think about it.
Happy Tuesday. We all have our fingers crossed for Thomas Massie down in Kentucky.
Yes, Thomas Massie is not bought and paid for. So I can.
A lot of people tell me that they love him.
Thomas Massie's great.
Should we vote for Thomas Massie? I always say yes. Always.
I hope Thomas Massie runs for president. I think, by the way, they're doing a big money bomb for Thomas Massie on March 30th. And I think him winning re-election in Congress is like the most important political election in the country right now.
Thomas Massie is the winner. You heard it here first.
Let's hear from the man himself. Thomas, take it away.
Do you want a United States Congress without Thomas Massie?
And we hear that this hoodie really upsets you guys, so if you don't mind, I might throw it on for another pick.
From what
I want to back it up just a little bit.
What was that person doing? What was that guy doing?
For Thomas Massie on March 30th. And I think him winning re-election in
Hold on, where's that? Keep going.
Congress is like the most important political election in the country right now.
Thomas Massie is the winner.
The next
you heard it
one.
here first.
This guy, that is Bobby Sauce. That is a content creator. I've had a couple people reach out to me directly and say, hey, what the hell's going on with this dude?
Is he okay?
I don't know. Well, he's not because he's getting absolutely filleted on social media right now and has responded. And we should probably take a second to take a look at what he is saying right now about why he refused to say anything at all. Nam, can you pull up Bobby Sauce? I think it's Bobby Sauce 2. Yeah, Bobby Sauce 2. So this is Bobby Sauce's response to Laura Loomer basically just harassing him and saying, we want an explanation. We want to know why you have thrown your hat in the ring with an actual Nazi. And here's
Is this an image or a video?
It's an image, sorry.
You got to tell me.
Sauce 2. Yep, sorry, my bad.
Bobby Sauce 2.
Okay. Yep. All right. Here's Bobby Sauce 2. All right. He says, Ryan Matta and I connected online a few months ago by sharing each other's content. I met him for the first time in person in Kentucky to help rally and show support for Thomas. He's a friendly and hardworking man that cares about the country and gave it his all to help Thomas. I don't give a S word what somebody has on their shirt. And even if I did, the word Reich is defined as kingdom or empire. It's giving MAGA hat means blank vibes from 2016. Who gives a shit, honestly? It is and was neither my concern nor responsibility to judge Ryan or any person based on content that some people like or dislike. Ryan and our group are working hard for Massie. That's all we cared about. He's a good man, and I don't care what you or anyone else thinks.
Oh my. Well, we just showed you what you're supporting, so yeah.
They hired the wrong creators, folks. And if you're upset about that, I don't know what to tell you. They hired people that have no moral courage. They don't have the balls to stand on anything meaningful. And they wonder why the voters of Kentucky looked them in the eye and said, nah, we're voting for the other guy. It's because they saw through it.
No.
It was all
fraud. I mean, at the end of the day, they did, and they were hoping that these creators were going to bring their whatever millions of followers. Who, by the way, fucking none of them vote in the 4th congressional district of fucking Kentucky. Like literally none of them. Like absolutely none. Maybe like, well, actually, I mean, there were what 29,000 of them. Fine, who voted for Massie? I get it, but it wasn't enough. And really, what's happening? With a lot of these, I think a lot of these folks, and I don't know any of them personally. I don't play the creator game like most of you guys do. I don't know who most of these people are, frankly. I don't really care. I actually have a day job. I make my videos and then I generally go on about my day and get ready for this podcast. These people, and I'm going to listen, there's a fatal flaw in all of this. And you guys heard me when I did a video, I think it was Saturday afternoon. And I said, people who make predictions about elections, you're almost always wrong, frankly. And I wasn't going to make a prediction about who was going to win that because I didn't know. The only prediction I was willing to make was if Thomas Massie won that election today, they would already be running the stories, the headlines, the videos, and the pictures of Thomas Massie hugging Ryan Maddow. You could have taken that shit to the fucking bank. And I was not going to be standing on the side that was like, oh, I guess that's okay. No, because I'm not going to spend, again, the next 2 years defending that bullshit when it's absolute bullshit.
Yep, that's right. So I actually think that they have a bigger problem over on that side of what used to be part of MAGA. You got to understand these people, the ones that are kind of the brains behind this operation, and there are a core group of folks who are kind of the brains, and you saw many of them: the Tucker Carlsons, the Joe Kent, Alexander Dugin, Candace Owens, John Mappin. There's a group of people who think that they are building the momentum for a challenger to MAGA in the 2028 election cycle. And I think the thing that they are the most upset about, Nam, can you pull up the video of Trump win CNN? This is what they're upset about. They thought that they had Donald Trump over a barrel because they believed polls that are not true, because they believed hype that is not true. But here's what's actually happening out in the electorate right now.
Goal is not to win the most races for Republicans. Donald Trump's goal is to reshape the Republican Party in his image and to make that party come to where he is rather than kind of meeting them where they are. And he has been so successful at that over the last 7 to 8 years. Increasingly, we see Democrats taking some of those tactics too, right? Embracing things like primaries, thinking about what are the ideologies that we actually think we don't want to be a Big Ten about. But Republicans are further along on that process. And during that first term of Trump, he so activated his base to say that anyone who was outside of this small group of people is the enemy. They took away from that term that he was stymied mostly by his own party. We're seeing the political impact of that play out over and over and now in the second term.
I guess in a sense,
I mean, dude, what happened?
Sorry,
You're muted, dude.
Yeah,
did you pause that on purpose? Okay.
I did. Even CNN is having to admit what the FAGA creators and influencers are struggling to understand. It's that despite their best efforts, Donald Trump has entirely remade the Republican Party under the banner that these people don't want to be a part of anymore. They're trying to peel people away from MAGA to build their own movement, and they're losing. Donald Trump went 37-0 on Tuesday, 37-0. And not only did he go 37-0, we're talking about some major political wins took place on Tuesday. Not just the Thomas Massie campaign. That was massive. It was huge because it was a dagger in the heart of everyone that thought that they still had momentum on the FAGA side. Did you guys see that Brad Raffensperger, the Secretary of State of Georgia? Did you guys see this? Who was running for governor? Yep. This is the guy who basically sat on his hands and allowed the fraud to take place in the state of Georgia in 2020, and then participated in an effort to try to prosecute Donald Trump over it later. He got third in the gubernatorial race, third. This was supposed to be the guy that was going to carry on the momentum from the governor today, who also sat on his rear end and allowed the fraud to take place. He took third. But this one was even worse. Did you see what else happened in Kentucky? This was massive. Nom, can you pull up Trump win, Cameron? So Mitch McConnell.
Do we have that?
It's a picture. It's a picture. Trump win Cameron. Mitch McConnell has basically been the kingmaker in the state of Kentucky for what, 30 years, 40 years, and was building a line of succession to follow him, to continue his legacy in the state of Kentucky. And his candidate to replace him in the Senate seat was this guy named David. Is his name David? Daniel Cameron. Daniel Cameron. And Donald Trump decided that he was going to step into this race also and endorsed his opponent, Andy Barr. And Andy Barr mopped the floor with him. Mopped the floor with him. So Trump took out one of the people engaged in the process of allowing the fraud in 2020, Brad Raffensperger. He took out literally took out the entire Mitch McConnell legacy in one day by defeating Daniel Cameron by it doubled his vote total. And at the same time, along with the help of a few influencers who are a little bit better than their creators, took out Thomas Massie in one day. And this, I think, is what they're really upset about. I think they're having to deal with the reality that they are not going to be successful in challenging MAGA in 2026 or in 2028. They're just not going to be able to do it because they don't have the candidates to do it. They don't have the message to do it. And they don't have the influencers to do it.
Their candidates are fatally flawed. I'm sorry. Their candidates are fatally flawed because the organizing principle of this entire thing is Israel bad, blame the Jews. I'm sorry. Show me one of these people, one of these creators who you cannot go on their social media and they lead and they end just about everything they do with blame Israel, Israel bad, Jews bad. I'm sorry. It's a fatally flawed position. It's not going to fly. Because it turns out that the MAGA coalition, which, by the way, I don't know if you guys have noticed it or not, is still alive, and it's actually probably bigger than ever. The MAGA coalition does not do racism. We're not interested in it at all. And we're not racist to Arabs. We're not racist to Jews. We're not racist to Black people or to Latinos, no matter what you pretend we are. I don't care if you're here illegally and you're from fucking Poland or you're here illegally and you're from fucking Mexico. It doesn't matter to me. What matters is you're here illegally or you're not here illegally. There's nothing about race involved in any of that. So if your leading principle is based on as Tucker used to say, a blood libel for someone based solely on an immutable characteristic, I don't have any interest in it being involved with you at all. And I'm sorry, that's the litmus test. It's literally the lowest fucking bar possible. There's no other explanation for this, folks. And if you have a problem with it, then maybe you actually are the problem and we actually are talking to you.
Let's change gears a little bit. Do we have a timeline cleanse? Do we have anything that we
do?
I do. I have several in there, but there is that one that actually says timeline cleanse. But it doesn't start with T. It starts with something else and then says timeline cleanse.
Here.
Is it a video? It's a video, right?
It's a Spencer
Hopefully
Pratt.
this doesn't get us demonetized.
This
No,
mayor
it
race
won't.
is really heating up. Who you guys voting for? Haven't decided? Same, haven't really been following it. Same. I'm not MAGA or anything. But the city's kind of gone to shit though, right? Oh yeah. Jessica stepped on a needle at the playground the other day. I'm not MAGA or anything though. I'm not MAGA or anything, but have you been downtown lately? Looks like an episode of The Walking Dead. Not that I'm MAGA or anything though. Spencer Pratt seems like he has some good ideas. Not that I'm MAGA or anything. He does seem really angry all the time though. Well, they did burn his house down. Also, apparently he's staying at the Bel Air Hotel, not the trailer on his property. Well, yeah. They burned his house down. Okay, we're all adults here. How about on 3, we just say who we're voting for? 1, 2, 3. Spencer Pratt. Yeah. Spencer Pratt. Spencer Pratt. Can you imagine if our wives knew?
It gets
Didn't we
better.
just
We're all
watch that?
voting for Spencer Pratt, right? Of course. Obviously. I wish I could vote like yesterday.
I may actually go out there and vote for Spencer Pratt. They're going to do check my ID. I mean,
I feel like that's a trap. I feel like that's the way for them to be like, this was stolen and it was rigged and there were
Yeah.
all these fraudulent
it.
votes.
So
K-Pasto, we see you.
money.
I know. I see you. I see you in there. I'm coming. Listen, I got to go back to last episode in the archives. We do
gotta
have a
get some
Patriot
cow
Source
money.
podcast archives. We do have to get the cow money. She's not wrong. Damn it. I'm sorry. I keep clicking the wrong buttons.
Do you want me to move it over? I can move it over.
No, I've got her. I've got her here. Where is the cow money? Where's the cow money? Is it 321? It's not 321.
And also the Time magazine cover is hilarious.
Oh God, is it 321? I don't know which one it is. It's not in here.
I don't know. I was driving on Monday, so I don't know. I saw
I'll
it.
move it over. I'll move it over.
Yeah, move it over. We're gonna get it for you, Kay.
There's
I know
a Time
K-Pasta.
there's a Time
K-Pasta was
magazine.
sharing. Yeah, K-Pasta was
Yeah, can
sharing
you-
that crap all over the place.
Can you,
While we're
can
waiting,
you show massacre funny massacre? I love how you labeled this one, SK massacre.
Because that's what the caption said where I found it. And that's what it says on there. It says massacre.
Oh, that's hilarious. That's hilarious. Did you guys hear when he was doing his concession speech? I think I have a clip of it in the Dropbox.
Oh, yeah.
When he was doing his concession speech, he was basically telling all the influencers, you don't have to apologize for anything, which is weird that he would say that. And for those who are like, why would you think the Massie campaign would even see your videos? Well, because I specifically said every one of those content creators need to apologize to their audience and to the American people for standing by and doing nothing while they platformed a Nazi. And then when he loses, the first thing he said is, you don't have to apologize. Do you think
Is it
that's
this
an
one?
accident?
And we ran a race that you can be proud of. You don't have to apologize to nobody tomorrow for anything you did. And we kept smiling the whole time. When I was called moron at the prayer breakfast, I said, I'm glad I'm in his prayers.
All right. We can pause it. Yeah. I mean, I actually think that people do need to apologize. My opinion is that some apologies need to be given because there's a whole bunch of social media users who were they were allowed to be exposed to a Nazi and the propaganda of the American Reich through this campaign, and those creators said not a damn thing about it.
All right, here we go. Hold on.
Five stacks in the envelope. Move. Poured up the Cracker Barrel. So baby, just let it go. Move. So Bessie in the backfield. Now the cash don't show. Move. Hush money from the heifers. Politician on the low. Cow money. What? Cow money. Yeah, IRS looking funny, but he swear it's all reported, honey. Cow money. Move. Cow money. Single mom in DC. Now she's singing like the canary. Quincy Institute award on the wall with the real prize in the stall. Libertarian with livestock trying to silence them all. Gary in the group chat. We got him on the farm fraud. Messi tweeting back. Fake news. I just love my cows, y'all. Imagine the audit, sir. With the W2s for the move. These are emotional support. Veins, IRS. She out here doing interviews, filling on the teeth. While he's smoking voters, trying not to lose a seat. Moral of the story, never mix the barn with the bank. Cause one bad break up in your cow money on display. 95 BPM, riding slow like a tractor in the lane. Thomas Massie got the game looking like a barnyard chain. Cow money. Cow money. Cow money.
Send help.
All right, guys. Listen, I think we could all agree that that's probably the best video that the back office crew has put together. That's fantastic. That's really good.
Really good.
I mean,
Hey, by the
K-Pasta
way,
will not stop talking about it.
It's because it's great. By the way, did you guys, I was listening on a Monday and I know you brought up the interview with Laura Loomer and Cynthia West. Did either of you go back and listen to that full interview? Because I listened to it.
Yeah.
I spent about 2 hours listening to it and it was pretty damn incredible, actually.
Yeah.
The image that, let's just say this, the image that people have of Thomas Massie was totally, utterly destroyed. If you believe at all that Cynthia West was telling the truth, the image that he's this meek and mild constitutionalist is total crap based on the things that she saw, she heard, and she shared. The way that she was, according to her, objectified and treated as though her only responsibility was to satisfy his needs. And when he did not, or when she did not live up to that, the cruelness and the mean attitude that she received indicates that there's something else going on behind the scenes with people, not just like Thomas Massie, probably 90% of people in Washington, D.C. What you see on TV is not who these people are.
Oh God,
Not at
no.
all.
So they're all actors, and they're not good. Some of them are good actors, but no, they're all actors. There's something about that city. You spend too much time there, it just filth flies off of filth soaks into your veins.
Do you think that we should address, I put this stuff in the Dropbox because I wasn't sure where you guys wanted to go, but do you think we should address the, MTG Massie group situation and the funding and, how they're all tied?
Yes.
And I really, again, would encourage you guys to go look at Data Republican's article that she posted yesterday or today.
I think we should actually do a show on this next week. So if Sunni and political mom want to come either Monday or Wednesday, I think we should take the other day and we should go over the two articles that Data Republican shared on the 250 and all that kind of stuff.
No.
spend
I'm talking
time on
about
that.
the one on Medea Benjamin.
Oh yeah. Okay.
This is
Yeah.
where
I'm trying to get it up.
News stories
Trying to
started
get it.
being like teased, and I reposted the New York Post and said on this episode of Not So Breaking News.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. Well, she put out the article. I think it was today. It was either today or yesterday on Medea Benjamin. But also, don't forget. Remember when Marjorie Taylor Greene posed for photos with Medea Benjamin, and then Trump went to a restaurant and somebody from Code Pink got way too close to the president of the United States. And the Secret Service contacted MTG because there were allegations, or they thought that there was a possibility that Marjorie Taylor Greene could have given the people from Code Pink the location and time of where Trump was going to be. Remember that?
Yep. Yeah.
So that's important to remember. So you guys that were supporting all this group of people that all seemed to gang up together, you have to remember the change that happened, because I went back on my timeline and put in Massie because I used to like Massie. He used to do some things that, I kind of agreed with. I mean, I didn't like it when we really needed his vote and he didn't vote with everyone else, but I also respected him for standing on what I thought were his principles. But I find it really odd that everybody kind of started switching at the same time. I mean, I was cheering for Massie, which I knew would never happen, but I was cheering for Massie to be Speaker of the House at one point in time. So that's where I was. But immediately after that, I was like, what is Massie doing? Why is he doing this? Like, from that point on, he was a totally different person, in my opinion. But here you go. Here's Marjorie Taylor Greene. I'm America first, while standing with Medea Benjamin, mind you, and fully against funding foreign wars and support peace, because that's good for everyone, especially the most innocent people, children. I have enjoyed a friendship with Medea for a few years now, even though politics says that's not allowed. I've learned to find bridges with others, and that's how we all win, and ultimately leads to peace. So again, go look at Data Republican's article. You can also go to my ex account and just search Medea Benjamin or Code Pink, and you can see all of the information. You can see the type of things that they've done. You can see them traveling to North Korea, to China. And these were things I posted in like 2024 or early 2025. You can see all of these things. She's been to China. She had meetings with leadership in Iran. Women, first of all, are not hugely respected in the leadership of Iran. So being able to go to Iran and sit down with Iranian leadership and then get out of the country safely is kind of strange. So she did have to have a meeting with the FBI when she got back. But you can go look at that article, and there are clickable links. There are receipts in there of the coordination. There are phone calls and timing. So Iran has potentially, based on evidence I've seen, they could have been coordinating with some people in the United States, and the timing of events, from phone calls to things happening publicly is very suspect. So you
Well,
should go
I
look
just
at
want to
that.
say, that it's important to know that the president's travel itinerary, where he's going to be, the route he's going to take, unless it's published publicly, is classified information. Now, it's not classified after the fact, but it is classified before the fact. So if it's true that Marjorie Taylor Greene or somebody handed that information to Code Pink to allow them to know where to be, that actually might be a crime.
And I
Hold
don't
on.
know
So
if she did that or not. I do know that article said that the Secret Service was looking into it. They had reached out to her. They contacted her over it, but I remember it being in the news cycle.
Yeah, unless they published
Hold on.
where he was going
Pause.
to be, that's a problem.
No. The president's schedule is like his public appearances are generally public knowledge. How the route that he takes to get there is classified until after it happens. So, I mean, they know that if he's got an event like today, I mean, he was at was it the Naval Academy graduation or Air Force or one of that's public, right? They know he's going to be there.
Well,
they
right,
know
but
that
the
he's
press
gonna
was
do
there.
other-
It depends what type of event it is, because not every event is on a public calendar. There are press
I agree,
events
that's
where
fair.
certain
That's
different
fair.
press groups are invited and other press groups aren't. There are different color codes for that on his schedule, but
agreed.
there are also things that are never put on the schedule, just like when he was almost unalived at, in Florida. None of where he was going to be was public, which is why people were asking questions about how this dude even knew that he was going to be at the golf course.
Yep. Hey,
Sav Smiles, who is the main lady of Code Pink married to? So
Well,
we just
Medea-
saw Medea Benjamin. That's not her. Her
And
co-founder.
Jody Evans and Medea Benjamin are the ones that founded Code Pink, and Jody Evans is married to Roy Singham. He goes by Roy Singham. Everyone calls him Neville Singham, but he goes by Roy Singham. So his name is Neville Roy Singham. He's the guy that lives in Shanghai full-time, shares office space with a CCP media company, even shares employees with them. And he sold a tech company for shitloads of money, opened up multiple organizations and fun foundation type funding sources, and the addresses are just PO boxes in random places. There's not even addresses for them, and then money gets funneled into Code Pink, People's Forum, Answer Coalition. There's a whole list, and Medea Benjamin has the Benjamin Fund, but they changed the name of the Benjamin Fund to something else just here recently in the last year.
Yep. Let's switch again. SK said, I had not seen this yet. Apparently there's a phone call of Thomas Crook's dad calling 911. SK, do you want to set this up? We should talk about this. This seems like
Yeah.
a pretty big deal.
Judicial Watch filed a lawsuit, basically FOIA, but they sued to be able to get the 911 call that was made by Thomas Crook's dad on the day that Trump was shot in Butler. And it was like right before 11 p.m. And I remember it was daylight, like early evening when he was shot, right? So
no,
I think so. We were actually out on the lake, and I remembered it was sometime around like 4:30 or 5 because we were close to
so
going
like
in.
early evening,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
5 o'clock
yeah,
at
yeah,
night.
Yeah,
Like 5 o'clock in the evening, because I remember getting on live right after it happened. I was like, oh my gosh, and started my live, and then we were live for like 2 days straight researching. But he called, the dad called in because they said you can listen to the 911 call, but remember that the narrative was that the parents were concerned because he had left the house with guns, and they hadn't heard from him. He was a member of a gun club that he went to very frequently, including on Christmas Day. So they just assumed he was going to the gun club to shoot, but they said he was usually only gone for like 2 hours and he hadn't come back yet. So again, this is like right before 11 p.m. and he still hadn't come home. And I think they said he left at like 2 p.m.
All right, I've got it. Here we go.
Maybe. You're muted, Nom. Nom, you're muted.
Wow.
No, I'm not. You are not now, but you were.
I was now. I know. I'm trying to bring it up. This is not. Wait, that's that.
It's a video.
Where
It's
did it
called
go?
Crooks Dad 911. Crooks Dad 911.
I know. I had it. All right. So, this is 150 meg. It may
See,
not
I
come
don't.
up.
Why
Let's
do
see.
my screen recordings
Here
do
we go.
this?
All right, here we go. Got it.
Yep, that's a Park Queen. This is Allegheny with the transfer. Go ahead, caller. Can I help you?
Hi, yes, my name's Matthew Crooks. I was calling in regards to my son Thomas. He belongs to the Clareton Sportsman Club in Clareton, and I don't have the number for Jefferson Police on hand. The reason I'm calling is he left the house here at about 1:45 this afternoon, and we've gotten no contact from him, no text messages, nothing's been returned, and he's not home yet. That's totally not like him, so we're kind of worried, not really sure what we should do.
Okay, and you're at...
Yes.
All right, okay, hold on 1 second for me. What's a good phone number for you? All right, how old is he?
He's 20 years old.
All right, and you said it was about 1:45 today?
Yeah, about 1:45 this afternoon. Like I said, he belongs to the Clareton Sportsman Club or Gun Club, and he took a rifle of his out there, and it's routine. He always does it, but he's usually back within 2 hours.
Okay.
And we've been texting him, leaving him messages on his phone. He's not been returning any of our texts or messages, which is totally not like him. And, you know, we're going on 11 o'clock, and he still hasn't come back or contacted us, so we're kind of worried. We don't know if he's been in an accident or if something else happened to him.
Okay.
No, he's dead.
Just, keep your phone handy, and I'll get somebody to come and help you, okay?
Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate
You're welcome.
it. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
I just want to know how the dad, right before 11 p.m., had he like not seen news that Trump had been shot? Because by 11 p.m. that night, I'm pretty sure we already had 3 potential suspect names, and I'm pretty sure Thomas Crooks was one of them.
Yeah, that name was all over social media by about 11 o'clock Eastern time that night. Everyone knew that name. And you know why they knew it? Because of her. Because of her.
Dude, we
They
had
knew
the
it because
entire
of her.
Pennsylvania voter rolls. We knew all of the registrations, but probably prior to 11 p.m. We even knew the registrations of the dad, the mom, the sibling. Like,
That's right. Because of her. That's why. By the way, Sunni, that's how you do research right there. But anyway, we still want you to come on the show Monday or Wednesday at 9:30 Eastern. We'd love to have you.
listen,
So
and
we
I
can
get
talk through this stuff.
spicy when I'm trying to show receipts to prove when somebody says that I'm wrong or that I'm lying about something or that it's misinformation. I get spicy when I show my receipts. That doesn't mean I have anything against Sunni personally.
That's right. I don't either. I don't even know her. I just know that she was not very kind to me when she was bad mouthing me today and then had me up on her panel and treated me like my opinion wasn't worth her hearing, even though she spent an entire live demanding that I explain who I was talking to. So when I tried
that
to,
went
she
on.
muted me
That
and
went
muted
on
me.
well after we left. By the way, that live kept going. I mean, and you know that's okay.
It was
It's
going.
probably
it was going.
still going. It's
It
probably,
probably is
still
still
going.
going.
That's a matter of fact, that's probably why we have 639 people watching this live right now, because half of them are probably coming from that live just to see what they can record, which is cool because I'd love to see those recordings because I think this has been a pretty damn good show so far. Anyway, a couple other things happened. Did you guys see this? Can you pull up Massie set up Bilzerian?
Exactly. Kay Paso said, hold on, Kay Paso, that's exactly what I thought. Kay Paso said, I would think that the FBI would already be at their house. Exactly. Why at 11 p.m. was the FBI not already at his home?
Well, because they were watching your live.
Well, that was
trying to figure out
Biden's.
who
It was
Danny
Biden's
knows you.
FBI too. It was Biden's FBI too. I mean, let's be honest.
That's a good
What
point.
a
All right.
Christopher Ray.
Here's Massie set up Bilzerian. Ready, go.
Video clip that has since been exclusively released and published by me that Thomas Massie apparently recruited and helped build the campaign infrastructure for your neo-Nazi opponent, Dan Bilzerian. I want to go ahead and play this clip of Dan Bilzerian saying that Thomas Massie, who just gloriously lost his election tonight, was rejected by the voters who rejected Nazism in Kentucky's 4th District tonight, actually saying that Thomas Massie basically is organizing a coup against you. Let's go ahead and play this clip.
technical level, try to prevent you from being on the ballot and everything like that. Are you prepared with the team that you need to tackle that?
I mean, yeah, I've got a team that Thomas Massie recommended. I think they're pretty good. You know, this is my first political run, so I'm sure we're going to have hiccups and hang-ups. I plan on going to Florida and doing some live events and, you know, communicating with the people. Hopefully get a group of people to kind of like go on the ground and knock on some of the doors. The problem is 70% of my district that has historically voted in the primaries. Hopefully we can change that. But historically, 70% of the people that have voted in the primaries are 55 and older. And so we're going to need to probably like.
These people don't just hate Jews. They have a white hot hatred for old people. They can, I mean, I think if there's anyone that's more of an enemy to them is old people.
Easy.
The ageism is off the charts. Yeah,
You're
because
like
they don't vote the
5
way
or
they want
6
them to.
years away from that.
Do you know
So,
why? Do
old
you know why?
people.
Do you know why they hate old people? Because we heard it all night
That
last
wasn't
night
nice,
too, and all
SK.
day.
That was not nice.
And all day today. The reason why they hate old people is because old people actually remember what the Nazis and Hitler did, and they're not trying to, and they won't allow it. We will not allow you to rewrite the history books like Ryan Madden is trying to say. Hitler was actually the greatest president that ever lived, and I wish he was our president. No, that's bullshit. And they're trying to get young people to believe this shit. And I have a message for all of you. We're not going to fucking let it happen. Sorry. Sucks to suck.
No, I mean, some of us spent a considerable amount of time studying the rise of Nazi Germany and fascism and where it comes from and the evolution of political ideology from the late 1900s into the early 2000s, or excuse me, the late 1800s into the 1900s. And here we've read the history books of the 100 million people that died at the hands of these authoritarian dictators, whether they be communist, socialist, fascist, they're all the same. They're just varying degrees of how much control they have over your day-to-day life. And they're all led by murderous dictators, every one of them. And we're not going to allow you to do that. I'm sorry. That's our threshold. That is the litmus test. That is the purity test. That is not okay in any movement that I'm a part of.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, what is it that we say to Democrats when they try to redefine things like socialism and call it democratic socialism? We say, nope, nope, nope. You're not going to redefine it. We know what it means. You're not going to, you're not going to put a brand new fresh coat of paint on it and put some lipstick on that pig and pretend like it's going to fucking dance. The same way we're not going to allow you to try to redefine, put a brand new coat of paint on the Reich term and affix the word American to the front of it, and we're not supposed to know what it means. Nope. We're better at this than you are. I'm sorry. You can be mad.
Come on, Nom. It means empire.
Be fucking mad. I don't care. Listen, I'm a full on grown ass adult. I'm almost 50 years old, and I can tell you something right now. You are not going to hurt my feelings. I actually have a day job. I don't need like your TikTok views and shit, but I will come out here and I will call you out every single time if you spend any amount of time in my presence trying to defend and justify the American Reich and the swastika and say, well, yeah, but Trump. No, fuck off. Nope. Sucks to suck.
Tell us how you really feel, Nom.
I feel like I just did.
So the only thing that we have
some more special words though.
We could probably do this for the next 12 minutes, but there is one more topic in here SK put in. So apparently there was an IRS settlement that happened in the last few days that has all of these people up in arms. Tell us about that, SK. What's going on?
Okay, so Trump was suing the IRS over releasing his tax information and all that stuff. There was a settlement that was made because he was suing them for $10 billion. And by the way, he had a viable case because they 100% violated his rights. They settled for like $1.6 billion. And instead of Trump taking that money for himself, which he would rightly be able to take because his rights were violated, he started an account and he's putting all of the money into an account where I guess it's going to be distributed. It's going to go towards victims of victimization of the weaponization of the government. So then on Tuesday morning, quietly, this was posted on one of the government sites. It could have been the Federal Register. And now everyone, I think I put a video in there of a woman that made a video. So the Democrats and some really dumb people are running with this narrative that Trump has pardoned himself and his family and all of his employees, and that the government can never sue him, and they can't ever go after him with any investigations or anything because they clearly can't read and comprehend English.
No, they can't. No,
So-
they can't. I'll bring the video up now if you're ready for it. I found
Yeah,
it.
let's watch that, and then I will show you how this woman is so wrong.
Yeah. Oh shit, I had it. Where did it go? Son of a
IRS Settlement, Democrat lies. It's a video.
Yeah, I there it is. Okay. All right, let's. Because I saw this all over the place. First of all, while this is coming,
I have some news, and it's not good. The Justice Department's settlement with Donald Trump is even worse than we knew. It turns out there was a secret part of the agreement that was hidden from us when it was announced yesterday. I just reviewed it, and I am struggling to find words to tell you how catastrophic and corrupt it is. I'm Liz Oyer, the former pardon attorney for the Department of Justice. Here's the deal. Todd Blanche, in his official capacity as acting attorney general, signed this one-page document right here. It's called a release of claims. And here's what it does. It signs away all claims against Donald Trump on behalf of the United States. In other words, it says that Trump cannot be investigated, audited, or sued by the United States government in the future. That
On this
includes
matter.
any government agency, the Justice Department, the IRS, etc. In effect, this will end the ongoing audits of Trump and his companies. But that's not all. It forfeits our right to collect any taxes owed by Trump and his businesses. It waives our right to try to reclaim the money he stole from taxpayers. It gives up our right to sue him for damages or to pursue really any legal recourse whatsoever against Donald Trump. And it binds
Can
the
we turn
United
this shit
States
off?
forever, meaning
Yeah.
it applies
Oh, wait,
even
forever.
after Trump
Forever,
and
even
Blanche
after
leave
Trump and
office.
Blanche
And
leave
it's
office. You
actually
heard
even
that,
worse
right?
than that because it's
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if this
Jesus.
person is an attorney because I'm not an attorney, but I can understand English. And it clearly states in plain English that it's as of the date that this is signed. Any investigations that were open from the IRS and whatever, that those are no longer going forward, and they cannot get anything. They can't get Trump on anything that they have an open investigation on from today backwards. Okay.
Right. So
it literally says, if you put that document up, this is something that happens with every settlement, by the way. Every settlement has the exact same language. It says that as of the effective date of the settlement agreement, and then it says with respect to, in connection with, or which arise out of any matters that were raised or could have been raised in the case or the pending agency claims.
So this
that
is a
means they
former
can't collect
hold on.
taxes?
So this is a former DOJ pardon attorney who obviously is a radical fucking leftist. It's one of the deep staters, one of the entrenched resistors, who is, I mean, where are these attorneys coming from? Because I can read that and I can understand.
They have to know.
They know.
They have to know because this is a
They know.
standard. This is
know.
standard for any settlement. If you've, I hope none of you have ever had to have a settlement because you haven't been sued or sued somebody. But this is standard language for settlement. Once it's settled, you can't go backwards. The matter is settled. Period.
Right.
That's why it's a settlement.
So let's be clear real quick, right? Because I'm old enough to remember just a few days ago last week, the entire leftist ecosphere was out there screaming that President Trump was going to pay himself $10 billion in a settlement, right? First of all, I mean, that's where they started, okay? That's where they started. And then where they're ending up is now President Trump has pardoned himself forever for everything, anything, when in reality, all he's doing is he sued for weaponization and violating his civil rights, which they did. And the settlement says, hey, we're not going to come back and violate your civil rights again with the same issues, because I don't know if you know this or not, SK. At least in the case of Jack Smith, they actually were hiding information and they had set it up so that they could bring those cases back alive by 2030. Right.
But today, Yeah, no, it gets better because it says his family and you know, like the people that do his taxes from his business, they list everyone that could possibly be implicated in an IRS case, right? Because that's what this is about. This is a settlement, so they're erasing everything, and they're saying, and you can't go after anyone that's ever touched my taxes or in my family because they went after his family too. But they've been oddly silent on Biden pardoning his entire family, including his brother and his brother's wife and his son and all of that for almost 11 years for actual felony crimes.
That's right.
Crime. It's any crime from January 1st, 2014 until December 1st. And then one of them's, I think, a little past December 1st of 2025. 2025, because it was right before Trump took office.
Yeah, January 2024.
Well, the December one is 2024, but the one that goes to January is 2025. It's almost an 11-year period. It's for sure 10 years. That's crazy for any crimes. Nothing was said. But today, the DOJ announced that they arrested a woman that worked for the DOJ for Jack Smith. And while everything was going on with Trump's classified documents case, the Mar-a-Lago raid, all of that, there was a woman at the DOJ that emailed herself documents that had to do with the investigation and the criminal, all the stuff. She emailed herself these things, and she tried to hide it under sending herself a recipe so that it wouldn't be found in FOIA requests or anything like that, or by another administration. So keep this in mind. Jack Smith's DOJ that was working the case with him was illegally retaining documents as they were trying to prosecute Trump for illegally retaining documents.
Right. So that's crazy. I actually didn't even put that together. So you're right. So for absconding with classified documents, the people who are prosecuting for that are actually absconding with, now they're not classified, but they are actually confidential documents, because they were going to try to bring this case back alive again. They were certainly going to try to do it again after they got smacked out of court by Judge Eileen Cannon. They were going to try to do it again.
And what are we going to bet that this woman rolls all the way over on Jack Smith and spills all the tea so she doesn't get herself? Because I think the sentence is like 20 years. There's multiple things, but I think it's 20 years. I need to go back and pull the court docket, but I do think that the potential sentence is like 20 years. It's time in prison for the sentence. It could sentence.
I have a question. Do you guys think this might be just a little bit of breadcrumb in the 10 years long seditious conspiracy that they're actually investigating in grand juries all around the country? And I mean,
kind of like SPLC and what went on today in that hearing, because I would be willing to bet that there's more things coming as part of RICO with SPLC, because remember, SPLC was feeding policy directly to Susan Rice, who was the domestic policy advisor, and that's how they were censoring your speech. That's how they were putting organizations like TPUSA on hate maps, and that's came from the United We Stand Summit, which is where the bridging movement of the entire democracy ecosystem came from.
That's right.
Yep.
That's right.
By the
Well,
way, again,
Suni,
this is how you do research, by the way. What SK just did right there is what actual research. It's the culmination of a lot of research and like putting things together, like stitching different parts of huge, big, giant spaghetti monster groups of organizations that all work together, because she's been doing this for literally years. Research. And then she can actually speak intelligently about how all of these things fit together. And she has the receipts for it, by the way.
Yeah.
And she goes a lot deeper than fucking mission statements.
I was doing this way before I was on social media. I've always researched everything. When I see a news story, I go research it, because that's what I like to find out what's going on. I like to dig.
All right. Well, hey, real quick before we wrap, I just checked my TikTok account where I had personally sent invitations to both Sunni and Political Mom, and neither one of them have accepted yet. So that means I'm going to have to take it to a video and put it out on TikTok and make sure that that invitation is sent, considering there's conversations happening in your Discord server, Sunni, that yes, we see, because there are some people that like us more than you and are sending us what you're saying in there. You're calling me a coward. Well, here's your invitation. Come say it to my face. Come on the show. We will walk through all of this information that we just walked through again. And I would then love to hear you defend why it's okay for Thomas Massie and his campaign to platform a Nazi, and why you're okay with social media influencers and creators for Massie saying nothing about it. So you're welcome Monday or Wednesday at 9:30 Eastern. We will plan for you to be here any day you want. There won't be any yelling. There might be, because I get a little excited. There won't be any. There won't be any any muting, any booting, none of that. We're going to have an adult conversation, and I just want to see where you land at the end of that discussion.
Make sure in your video that you make, you include those receipts, so you can tell her that, you know, I mean, telling you that by saying something about skinhead and that you're wrong and that you're just making this stuff up and them laughing in the comments of the video. I think you should tag every person in the comments of that video too and let them know that here's the receipts. So maybe you should find somebody that can research better.
Or they could just come. I mean, literally, we've got 2 full fucking podcasts. We've literally done, I mean, more than 3 hours on this topic with these receipts. I mean, you guys, listen, you can come and watch it. I mean, if you would like, if you are at least a little bit interested in learning something and understanding why we've taken the position we've had, and if at the end of watching this and understanding and reading the receipts and saying, you know what, I still believe that it's okay to platform this candidate or this person at the end of a congressional primary, then we're just going to have to agree to disagree, and you're not welcome in the party that I'm involved in. Fuck off.
That's right. That's right. All right, we're well over time, guys. This has been fun. I'm glad that we were able to continue this from the banger of the show that you did on Monday. I think Friday a show is happening. I don't know if I'm going to be able to be here for that, but
I don't think I won't be. I have rehearsal.
Okay.
And rehearsal.
No show on Friday.
We're not doing a show on Friday. And Monday, by the way, you guys realize is Memorial Day, right?
Yep. But that's okay. No one's doing Memorial Day stuff at 9:30 Eastern.
Yeah, neither are we. I mean, we don't have any friends down here yet, frankly. So it is what it is. And I have to work Tuesday morning. We've got neighbors, but we don't really know any people. Anybody. I work too much. I sit on my ass in this chair, and it's getting much larger. My ass, not the chair. All right, we're out.
All right, we're out.
Peace.
Good night, guys.
See you all.
We seriously need a new photo.
Trading sacred liberties for power, gold, and twisted dreams. From the broken borders to the fields our forefathers tilled. The enemy is prowling, truth is silenced on a kill. But I'm a patriot source, forged in fire, standing tall. Bible as my sword and Old Glory as my core. No apologies for loving this blood-bought land. We'll charge the gates of darkness with the fire of the righteous stand. God bless the USA. We'll never bend or break. Patriots of freedom, warriors wide awake. They laugh at heaven's mercy, call our faith a dying flame. But when the storm clouds gather, we invoke the holy name. The serpent weaves through statutes, twisting justice into chains. Yet with God as our command, victory still remains. Yeah, I'm a patriot source, forged in fire, standing tall. Bible as my sword and Old Glory as my blood-bought lands. We'll charge the shadows. Truth and justice we decree.